of faith, but lighting of fire. William Butler. Good morning, respected dignitaries and dear participants. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the multidisciplinary special course organized by UGC Malavia Mission Teacher Training Center, STTB Kalasa College, University of Delhi, in collaboration with Human Resource Development Center, Kusujayadi College, Bengaluru. We are gathered here to enrich our knowledge and foster a spirit of learning and collaboration. As Sri Rabindranath Tagore once said, the highest education is not that which does not merely give us information, but make our harmony with all existence. To commence this auspicious event, let us invoke the blessings of Almighty with an invocation song.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne make all my wants and wishes known in seasons of distress and grief. My soul has often found relief and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer.
Thank you, Kohab. Welcome every day with a smile. Look on a day to another special gift from your Creator, another golden opportunity to complete what we are unable to finish yesterday. Now, to formally welcome our esteemed gathering, I would like to invite Dr. Mary Jacob, Coordinator, Human Resource Development Center, Kusujayandi College, to deliver the welcome address.
And please make Professor Gurmohinder Singh sir also as co-host. I think sir has joined.
Yes, ma'am, we will do that. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, distinguished dignitaries, esteemed guests, resource persons, and my dear participants. It is with great pleasure and immense pride that I welcome all of you to the multidisciplinary refresher course on outcome-based education, MOOCs, and research methodology, scheduled from December 9th to 20th, 2024. This course, organized by the UGC Malavia Mission Teacher Training Center, Sri Guru Tech Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi, in collaboration with Kristujayanti Human Resource Development Center, aims to empower and inspire the faculties of higher education in embracing innovative methodologies and best practices in teaching, learning, and research. At the outset, I extend a warm and respectful welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Professor Ved Prakash, former chairman of the University Grants Commission and Chancellor KIT University, Bhubaneswar. Sir, your visionary leadership in shaping higher education in India has been a source of inspiration for countless educators and institutions. Sir, it is with great honor we welcome you.
Thank you.
I'm also privileged to welcome Professor Vimal Raj, Director of UGC-MMTTC, and a distinguished professor in the Department of Chemistry at SDTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Madam, your relentless effort in academic and technological advancements have set new benchmarks for quality education. Hearty welcome, dear ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
A heartfelt welcome to Professor A.K. Bakshi, founding Vice Chancellor of PDM University, Haryana, former Vice Chancellor of UPRTOU, Allahabad, and former Executive Director of TEC Mauritius. Sir, your multifaceted contributions to academia and governance continue to inspire the academic community across the globe. With great pride, we welcome you, sir. It is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to Professor Gurmohinder Singh, Principal of Sri Guru Tech Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Sir, your steadfast leadership and commitment to excellence have transformed SDTB Khalsa College into a hub of academic brilliance. With boundless joy, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
I would also like to extend a special welcome to Father Dr. Agustin George, Principal of Christu Jayanti College Autonomous, Bengaluru. Father, your unwavering dedication to holistic education and institutional development has made Christu Jayanti College a model of innovation and integrity. Hearty welcome, dear Father. It is with great joy I welcome Dr. Aloysius Edward, Dean Faculty of Commerce and Management, Christu Jayanti College, who is instrumental in shaping this refresher course and the academic excellence and professional growth of countless individuals in the higher education domain. We welcome you, sir. I welcome all the distinguished resource persons who have graciously agreed to share their expertise during this course of 12 days of refresher course program. Your insights and guidance will undoubtedly enrich the learning experience for all the participants. Finally, a warm welcome to all the participating deans, heads of various departments, coordinators, faculties. Your presence here signifies your commitment to professional growth and the pursuit of excellence in higher education. Together, let us delve into a transformative aspect of outcome-based education, explore the power of MOOCs, and refine our understanding of research methodologies to create a significant impact in our institutions and beyond. Once again, I welcome you all to this intellectually invigorating journey. Let this course be a beacon of inspiration, collaboration, and growth for all of us. Thank you and best wishes for a fruitful and enriching course.
Thank you, ma'am. We extend a warm welcome to you too. A leader instills hope of success and believe in themselves. Our principal, though his exemplary actions, constantly inspire us to achieve the greater height. With honor and respect, I welcome our beloved principal, Reverend Father Augustine George, to deliver the presidential address.
Most respected Professor Veda Prakash, the Chancellor of KIT University, former Director, the UGC, Professor Vimal Rao, Director, UGC-MMTTC, Guru Mohinder Singh, the Principal of Khalsa College, University of Delhi, most distinguished the resource people, participants of this program, a warm welcome to all the esteemed the dignitaries and the participants. It's a great honor to address you today as we commence this multidisciplinary refresher course on outcome-based education and the research methodology. I'm very much grateful to the Professor Veda Prakash, the former UGC chairman and the Chancellor of KIT University, and especially Professor Bimal Rao, the Director UGC MMTTC program, for making this program happen. And I do understand the mission of MMTTC to transform the higher education by integrating Indian values and ethos into teaching, research, publications, patents, and the institutional development. We have participants from Christu Jayanti College and participants from the other colleges as well. Appreciating the thoughtfulness of the faculty members, I'm happy to welcome all of you to this training program. The program is the beginning of a journey toward intellectual enrichment and transformatory journey. It gives a unique opportunity to our faculty members to push the boundaries of conventional teaching pedagogies and explore the exciting possibilities that emerge when teaching, research, and technology intersect. As we step into the new knowledge voyage, it is essential to recognize that the world of education is undergoing a transformation. Gone are the days when teaching was simply the delivery of the content. Today, education is all about the fostering the development of specific, measurable outcomes that reflects students' ability to demonstrate and to apply the knowledge, not just to absorb it. The approach of the outcome-based education ensures that we must focus on the tangible results that make learning more meaningful and relevant to the real world. It is not just about what we teach, but how we shape our students' ability to think, analyze, and perform. And this shift to a student-centered approach enables us to create more personalized, dynamic educational experience where each students are the focal point. At the same time, we are witnessing the global expansion of the MOOC, a revolutionary development that has transformed the landscape of the higher education. The MOOC has democratized the learning, making high quality education accessible to anyone, anywhere, and at any time. In this course, we will explore how MOOCs are not only merely the tools of the conception, but also a powerful platform for the content creation, development, and assessment. As educators, we must learn to integrate these platforms into our own teaching practices, following us a greater flexibility and reach while maintaining the quality of the education. I encourage each one of you to approach this course with an open mind and a collaborative spirit. Let us learn from one another, share our experiences, and take away the ideas that we can implement in our own teaching and research practices. I'm very much confident that this course will serve as a catalyst for personal and professional growth, pushing the boundaries on what we know and how we engage with the knowledge. I express my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee from the Krishna Jayanti College and the great direction from the great members of the MMTTCE and all those who have worked tirelessly to make this event possible. Your dedication ensures that we can gather here today to embark on this journey together. Looking forward to the highly productive and stimulating experience for all, and wish all of you a great success as we embark on this executing endeavor. I thank all of you and wish all the best to the organizing team and the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father, for your inspiring words. Education is not the learning of facts, but training of mind to think. It's my privilege to invite Professor Guru Mohinder Singh, Principal, STTB Kalasa College, University of Delhi, who had made significant contribution to advancing higher education and fostering a culture of academic excellence, to deliver the inaugural address.
Thank you. Respected Professor Ved Prakash, former Chairman UGC. Respected Professor A.K. Bakshi, founding VC, PDM University, Haryana. Father, Dr. Augustine George, Principal, Christo Jayanti College. Professor Vimal Rao, Director of the UGC-MMTTC at SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Dr. Aloysius Edward J. Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management, Christo Jayanti College, Bangalore, and other esteemed dignitaries, dear participants, and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi, I am delighted to welcome you all to this multidisciplinary refresher course on outcome-based education, MOOCs, and research methodology, being jointly organized by the UGC-MMTTC at SGTB Khalsa College in collaboration and with Christo Jayanti College, Bangalore. Ladies and gentlemen, our UGC-MMTTC is a leading center of UGC and Ministry of Education, Government of India, formerly known as Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center. It has trained more than 1 lakh teachers through various training programs since 2016. It has the mandate to train 15 lakh higher education teachers for the NEP sensitization and orientation program, along with faculty induction program, faculty development programs, and refresher courses, which are recognized for Career Advancement Scheme and NAC. The core team of the Guru Angad Dev TLC has an expertise of developing e-content for 89 courses in e-PG Pathshala project and more than 50 MOOCs in 4-quadrant format for Swayam portal platform of Government of India. And I am very happy to inform you that the e-content produced by Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center has been rated as one of the best in quality at the national level. I'm very happy to know that this 2-week refresher course shall focus on various sub-themes which are currently of the great relevance in the context of higher education in India. These include challenges of NEP and global trends, digital transformation in higher education in India, assessments for outcome-based education, MOOCs and online courses, subject-specific, enriched benchmarking of learning outcomes, development of e-content in 4-quadrant format, video creation and editing tools, implementation strategies for outcome-based education, ICT-empowered learner-centric pedagogies, including flipped classroom model, AI tools for teaching and research methodology, research process and plagiarism, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very distinguished team of eminent resource persons of the country who will deliberate on these sub-themes relating to the theme of the refresher course. I'm very sure that it will be a great learning experience for the participants and they will be duly empowered for overcoming the challenges of the higher education in India and for effective implementation of the outcome-based education in their institutions. In this course, we also aim to empower participants with actionable insights and practical skills that each participant can implement within their institutions, thereby enriching the learning experience for their students. We are hopeful that these sessions will also spark fruitful discussions, helping us envision a future where Indian higher education leads globally in both quality and inclusivity. I would also take the opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to the management of Christo Jayanti College for organizing this very relevant refresher course as this is the need of the hour. We look forward to more such collaborations in future as such partnerships can bring tremendous values of our educational community, thereby creating an environment where exchange of knowledge thrives and innovative ideas are born. In conclusion, I would once again like to express my deepest appreciation for the prestigious Christo Jayanti College for organizing this collaborative event together. Let us embark on the journey to build a stronger, more dynamic, and impactful education system, one that truly prepares our students to meet the challenges of the 21st century. Thank you, and I wish you all a very productive and enlightening experience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your illuminating address. Educating the mind without educating the heart is not education at all, Aristotle. The role of UGC-MMTC is to provide a comprehensive training and capacity building program to enhance the academic and administrative skills of higher education faculty and staff in India. To shed light on the significance of UGC-MMTC, we have with us Professor Vimal Rao, Director, UGC-MMTC, and Professor, Department of Chemistry, SCGB Kalasa College, University of Delhi, known for her research and dedication to the academic leadership. Ma'am, I
Sorry
request you
to intervene you. I think we'll put Professor Ved Prakash sir before me because it's a very late time for him. So I'll speak after him. Let us, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
I think I can wait to Edward, but yeah, please.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world. Malala Yousafzai. We are extremely honored to have with us our chief guest, Professor Ved Prakash, former chairman, UGC and Chancellor KIIT University Bhubaneswar, a distinguished academic leader and advocate of higher education reform in India, whose contribution to the field of education is exemplary. So I request you to address the guest.
Thank you very much. Respected Father Dr. Augustine George, Principal of Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore. Respected Professor Edward, the members, distinguished members of the faculty of KJ College, Bangalore. My dear friend and colleague, Professor Guru Mohinder Singh, Principal of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Esteemed colleague, Professor Vimal Rao, Director of the UGC Madan Mohan Malviya Teacher Training Center of the University of Delhi. Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a matter of great honor and a very special privilege for me to be once again with the members of the faculty of Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore. During my visit, I was deeply impressed the way the institution is serving to the society. And this is all because of the stewardship of Father Dr. Augustine George, that this college has made a place for itself at the national level. The kind of programs which the college is offering, the kind of ambience which the college has created, the entire credit goes to the head of the institution. And therefore, Father Augustine, I would like to congratulate you once again for that. I've been asked, to inaugurate this program, a multidisciplinary refresher program, for which I'm extremely grateful to Father Augustine, Dr. Guru Mohinder Singh, Professor Vimal Rao. I would like to highlight certain issues in brief, actually, keeping in mind the way the organizers have wisely designed this program. I'll begin with a quote from a Greek philosopher, Heraclitus. He was the man who had once said that you cannot step twice into the same stream, unquote. That was interpreted by people in different ways. Someone said that nothing is static in this world but it change. Some people said that everything changes and nothing remains still. Whatever could be the interpretation depending upon the wisdom of the people. But the point that he made was that change is the law of the nature. And no one remains untouched from that. We all are now increasingly observing that the change in education, which is a crucial part of our lives, is happening at much faster a pace. That is what we need to realize. And while this rapid change in education is tossing very unusual kinds of challenges, it is also providing us novel opportunities. And under the circumstances, those who would be thoughtfully responding, I'm carefully choosing the word thoughtfully. So, under the circumstances, those who would be thoughtfully responding to the present set of challenges will only be able to make gainful advantages. It could be at the level of the individual member of the faculty, it could be at the level of individual institution, or it could be at the level of the entire ecosystem of higher education. And mind you, which is why we need to understand that this is true for everyone from micro level to meso level to macro level. It is indeed heartening to note that this multidisciplinary refresher course is going to focus on 10 vital themes which Professor Gurmohinder Singh has shared with us. So, this is going to provide all the participants a wonderful opportunity to learn about the challenges of the national education policy, about the digital transformation that is happening in the area of higher education globally and nationally, the way the different modes of delivery system are emerging, the implementation strategies for outcome based education, then what kind of assessment methods need to be employed for the purposes of assessing the potential of individual learners, methodologies. If we are switching over to multiple modes of delivery, then we need to develop expertise insofar as the development of e-content in 4-quadrant format is concerned. This program is also going to focus on research methodology, including plagiarism, video creation and editing tools, and the artificial intelligence tools for teaching and research. So the program, I believe, is so wisely designed by the organizers that it will cater to the requirements of teachers across various disciplines, and which is why it is named as a multidisciplinary refresher program. Ladies and gentlemen, currently the Indian higher education system is passing through a very peculiar phase. On the one hand, it must face challenges arising out of the National Education Policy 2020, and on the other, it must face challenges arising out of international competitions. These challenges become more threatening because of the growing cost of higher education and steadily declining of the state support. And due to constraint of time, I'm going to flag only a couple of challenges posed by the national education policy. In the national education policy, we have envisaged sustainable transformation into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing access to high quality education to all. This is the biggest challenge as it calls for an inclusive approach across all the three sectors of education, namely the elementary education, the secondary education, and the post-secondary education. And we have the responsibility towards all the sectors. By being into the post-secondary sector, that doesn't mean that we do not have a responsibility to cater to the needs and requirements of the feeder cadres, which happen to be the elementary education and also the secondary education. Another concerning challenge in the implementation of the national education policy is our persistent concern to increase the gross enrollment ratio in higher education to 50% within 10 years' time. Within now, we are left only with by 2035 or 2025. I'm forgetting. You can see the date actually. I think it is by 2035 that
2035.
we will attain 50% gross enrollment ratio, which means that we shall have to grow at an annual growth rate of 4.2%, and which is a very big challenge, though it is a doable proposition provided we adopt multi-pronged strategy by maximizing the residual capacity of existing institutions, by establishing newer institutions in areas where institutional density per 100,000 population is lesser than the state average, and by fusing, the conventional mode of delivery with the open and distance learning mode of delivery and the online mode of delivery. This is a very big challenge because we are a country of 144 crore people, wherein, another important challenge is about the skilling. And we want that about 50 crore children in the age cohort of 3 to 24 need to be provided skills which are needed by the modern world. Transformation of all universities and colleges into multi-faculty institutions by 2030 is yet another Herculean task before us. Conversion of all institutions, which are about 56,000 in number, into three types of institutions, namely research-intensive universities, teaching-intensive universities, and autonomous colleges with degree awarding powers, is a humongous challenge. Similarly, consolidation of all small-sized institutions across three types of institution is also a very massive challenge. Further, fragmentation of higher education, and for that putting a brake on the practice of setting up universities like health universities, technical universities, skill universities, teacher universities, defense universities, railway universities. That all is also a big challenge which requires change of mindset and attitude. Besides understanding the significance of the university in letter and spirit. Moving towards a more liberal, multidisciplinary undergraduate education of varying duration and corresponding it with the master's level program with multiple entry, multiple exit options, and aligning it with master's degree program is yet another big challenge. Preparing research-ready graduates through a 4-year program would require a complete overhaul of existing curricular provisions and teaching strategies at the undergraduate level. Building and strengthening research ecosystem across the country is also an uphill task because our share in global research is very, very low. We shall have to design appropriate strategies for doing that through the National Research Foundation, which we have established now. Similarly, introduction of a new system to develop a robust and merit-based tenure track promotion and salary structure system, which we have envisaged with multiple salary levels to ensure excellence, would be yet another challenge before us. Now, we shall also have to address the issue of perceived notion of its disputed equivalence, not only between formal face-to-face system and ODL system, but also between them and now online modes of delivery system, which we have already started off. We'll have to take abundant precautions and work hard in designing and developing learning management systems and correspondingly the assessment procedures. Internationalization of higher education in the real sense is another challenge that we will have to respond to. We still do not have a proactive policy, and which is why we are hosting such a minuscule proportion of international students. Less than 48,000 students are hosted on the campuses of our institutions, whereas there are countries which continue to be the most sought after destinations for centuries actually. Each higher educational institution has to prepare an institutional development plan within a fixed time frame That is also a challenge due to lack of expertise, though the University Grants Commission has issued some guidelines. But I do not find very many institutions to have come up with a perspective plan for 5 years or for 10 years. Each institution has to digitally store credits earned for the purposes of developing academic bank of credits. That is also a challenge. Regulatory system as envisaged in the national education policy requiring legislative framework for establishing higher education commission of India with its 4 verticals is a challenge for the leadership. Legislative framework for the constitution of the board of governors for 50,000 odd institutions is also a big challenge. Similarly, making a vibrant National Education Technology Forum for free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, planning, and administration is yet another challenge. Proper orientation of teachers for the development of e-contents, MOOCs, hybrid mode of teaching and learning is yet another challenge. Increasing share in global research from around 8% to 20% as envisaged is a big challenge, which among others would require substantial hike in investments from the current level of 0.65% to at least 3% of the GDP. If we have to compete at the global level with countries like China and US and UK and Germany and Australia. Above all, providing quality education at an affordable cost is indeed a big challenge. How center and states together are going to spend 6% of the GDP and 20% of all public expenditure within a 10-year period is a guess for everyone. Worldwide, gross enrollment ratio in higher education has increased substantially from 19% to 40%, but we are still at 28%. So we are still, way below than the world average insofar as the participation rates in higher education is concerned. Globally, the percentage of women in STEM disciplines and the bachelor's degree holder in different areas of study is much higher than our own system, which is also a very big challenge for us. Another important concern which we have to address is about the global quality assurance. Quality, we all know, in higher education is a multidimensional, multi-level, and dynamic concept which relates to the contextual settings of an educational model, to the institutional mission and objectives, as well as to specific standards within a given time. But if global ranking is taken as a criteria for quality, we are nowhere in the reckoning. There are countries that continue to dominate at the international level for decades and centuries. Though we have come up with our own assessment and accreditation system, also our own ranking system, but if we are to compete at the global level, we cannot turn a blind eye from the global ranking system. Universities, of course, have the dual responsibility all over the world to serve the local needs on the one hand and to address global concerns on the other. And that remains a big concern for us as well. The major concern is about the interdisciplinary teaching and learning. The leading universities of the world have switched over to interdisciplinary teaching and learning for a very long time. We are still struggling with it, and we have not made adequate preparations for that. That is yet another challenge before us. Having regard to the diversity of the campuses in terms of student population, and having regard to the learning trajectory of individual learner, the leading universities of the world have come up with flexible learning pathways UNESCO has been asking to come up with the well articulated flexible learning pathways, keeping in view the contextual situations. um, Many countries have come up with flexible learning pathways, but we still continue with a very rigid system of higher education. I think that is also a big challenge before us. um, Disparities in academic attainments is also a very big issue insofar as Indian higher education system is concerned, which is largely the affiliating system, because most of the universities are having the affiliating system. And in that, we find that there are disparities in academic attainments across the institutions and many a time within the institution. The Western world has resolved this issue by way of resorting to subject specified benchmarking of learning outcomes. We have made a very small beginning. I think we need to focus on subject specific benchmarking of learning outcomes in a big way, so that we can overcome the disparities which exist in academic attainments across the institutions and within the institution. This is a doable proposition. Western universities have done it. I think we can also do it. Our goal of spending 6% of the GDP on education remains a distant dream since 1966. We are spending only 3.6% of the GDP on education. And if you split it across all the three sectors, you find that you are spending only 1.68% of the GDP on elementary education, 1.18% on secondary education, and only 0.73% on higher education. And if you split that 0.73% of the GDP on higher education between general education and technical education, you would find that you are spending only 0.49% on general higher education and 0.24% on technical education. So decreasing funding from the states and federal government are forcing universities to look elsewhere for funding, which is also not available. Technology mediated teaching and learning is a big challenge, though we had made a beginning in 2003 when we came up with the NPTEL program. We also, did some work through the University Grants Commission, and when we came up with the through the EPG Pathshala program, wherein Professor Bakshi and Professor Vimal made a seminal contribution. That is also a big challenge for us. Online learning is gradually becoming more prevalent, and while some universities are offering now full degree program in online mode, others are using online program only to augment and complement their conventional programs. We have been making use of the technology for quite some time, but with very varying degree. I think we have to take this challenge head on. Now, the question is, what is the way forward? I will take only 5 more minutes. We know that the sector is being hit from all sides by social, financial, curricular, technological, and global challenges. And it is evident that the challenges in Indian higher education are manifold. Right from the shortage of faculty, issue of access still remains, equity, declining enrollment in certain areas of study, rising costs, reduced revenues, quality and volume of research, emerging modes of delivery, and maximization of information and communication technology. We know that students' priorities are changing due to technological evolution. Students are increasingly choosing their own pathways. And this is pushing higher education into an era of the modern learner, which we are not realizing actually. Higher education institutions are forced to adapt labor market demands and deliver student-centric outcomes. A significant development is the increasing focus on career-oriented programs that deliver practical skills. And in that process, we are letting the humanities and social sciences and languages to languish in poverty. Students, of course, are now prioritizing options that offer direct links to employment and a return in value on investment. There has been a surge of interest in credentials of all kinds, including certificates and apprenticeships, as well as undergraduate and graduate degrees. Colleges and universities have an opportunity to meet the challenges presented in this new era with a thoughtful, student centered approach to education and diverse pathways that lead to valuable career focused outcomes. This is what is expected from the higher educational institutions now. And people are asking very insightful questions for which we have very weak answers, actually. The overall demand for higher education might not see dramatic shift, either way, in the next 1 year or 2 year or 3 years. Higher education institutions, nevertheless, must adapt to the evolving labor market, shifting demographics, and technological advancements that are powering the new era of the modern learners. And I'm very happy that Professor Vimal and Professor Edward, they have jointly designed this program in such a manner that they are going to focus heavily on those technology mediated teaching and learning issues. This indeed requires a reimagined approach where institutions must build a unified brand and enrollment strategy to engage with prospective students, where institutions prioritize the development of programs that focus on practical skills and career outcomes. This involves collaborating with industry partners to ensure curricula are aligned with current job market demands. Institutions should expand their offerings of alternative credentials, making them accessible, and which is why we need leaders who can anticipate these trends and come up with innovative programs. Institutions must leverage on diversification of their campuses by recruiting students from diverse backgrounds. Not only we should care only for those who are degree seekers. But if there are students who wish to come to us and for the certificate programs, for apprenticeship programs, I think the universities and the colleges must come up with those kinds of programs. Higher education is at a pivotal moment as it responds to internal and external forces of change. And while challenges abound, there are also promising trends, including increased enrollment and a growing interest in flexible education pathways. Institutions which would be responding to the requirements of the modern learners would attract more and more number of students. This is a wonderful opportunity for institutions like Christo Jayanti College, which has made a name actually. But there is no scope for complacency. They will have to innovate on continuous basis. To thrive in this evolving environment, institutions must embrace adaptability and align their programs with the students' demands and preferences. By prioritizing career outcomes, affordability, and flexibility, higher education institutions can enhance their competitiveness and better support the diverse aspirations of today's modern learners. Ultimately, the future of higher education relies on a proactive and responsive approach, ensuring that institutions remain vital contributors to workforce and economic stability in this ever-changing world. I hope that during the course of this multidisciplinary refresher program, the participants and the speakers will get an opportunity to reflect on these vital issues and concerns pertaining to the Indian higher education system. By and large, the society is pinning hopes on its teachers and higher educational institutions to make the country a better place to live. किस तरीके का country? Where quality learning opportunities are accessible to all, where there is a deep sense of fellow feeling, and where people stand up for what is right, where every voice is valued, where rule of law prevails over everything else, and where everyone is treated with dignity and respect, and where people believe in science, respect science, and repose their faith and trust in evidence-based policy interventions, and where social harmony takes precedence over everything else. I believe if higher education institutions and teachers join hands together with such a mission, they can surely make the country a better place to live in. With these words, I inaugurate this multidisciplinary refresher program, which is jointly organized by the Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore, and UGC Madan Mohan Malviya Teacher Training Center, Khalsa College, and wish it a great success. But before I leave the floor, let me once again express my sincere thanks and gratitudes to Father Dr. Augustine George, Principal of Christu Jayanti College, Professor Vimal Rar, Professor Gurmohinder Singh of the SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi, for having given me this opportunity. So thank you very much once again. Over to you now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words of wisdom. Now I request Professor Vimalra to address the gathering.
Do I have the permission to leave now? Because I have.
Yes, sir. It must be very late for you. Thank you for sparing your valuable time, please.
Thank you very much. So, Father Augustine, thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir.
Looking forward to seeing you sometime.
You're always
after my
inspired.
return in
You're
March.
always inspiring us.
Thank you very much.
And putting a lot of challenge. Because what is next, that is from your side. Thank you.
Thank you very
We're
much.
blessed to have your guidance and mentoring, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I extend my heartfelt gratitude to esteemed Chief Guest, Professor Ved Prakash, former Chairman of UGC and Chancellor KIT University Bhubaneswar. Sir, your visionary address has really set a tone for the schools, inspiring us to rethink and innovate the realm of higher education. Thank you, sir. Now I request ma'am to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Very respected Professor Ved Prakash, sir, former Chairman, University Grants Commission and Chancellor KIT Bhubaneswar, and mentor our center UGC-MMTTC. Very respected Professor A.K. Bakshi, sir, founding Vice Chancellor PDM University, Haryana, former Vice Chancellor UP RTOU, Allahabad. Also, he has been Head Department of Chemistry, Delhi University, and also Director CPDHE and IEEE, and our mentor for evolving all these centers, which we have now been doing national level work together. Welcome to Professor Bakshi, sir, also. Very respected Father Dr. Augustine George, principal of this very vibrant Christu Jayanti College from Bangalore. Good morning, sir, and welcome. Very respected Professor Gurmohinder Singh, my own very dynamic principal of SCTB Khalsa College, a constituent college of University of Delhi. Also, we have Father, I think in the esteemed team of Christu Jayanti College, we have Father Thomas, Vice Principal of Christu Jayanti College. Then we have Father Matthew, Director of SRD, Dr. Edward, Dean of Faculty, Commerce and Management, and many others. Especially, I will like to mention Dr. Edward, who is instrumental in taking this collaboration further. And I think the moment I mentioned that we can do this type of collaborative event, within no time, with the support of the visionary leadership, we got the nod, and here we are. And most importantly, all my dear colleagues who have joined from different parts of our country and many from Christo Jayanti College. I welcome each one of you on behalf of UGC-MMTTC in this 2 weeks refresher course on outcome-based education, MOOCs, and research methodology. Starting from today, we will continue till 20th December. In this particular program, how we have aligned the three components you can see, they are all required as per the NEP 2020. If you look at the teacher's role in the implementation part, if we talk about outcome based education, then that is how it will be making the qualitative impact in the curriculum design, how it has to be aligned to outcome based education, how the teaching learning processes have to be now learner centric. We'll deliberate on those. What tools can be used for the blended learning? And when we talk about the tools, then definitely the e-content becomes very important, which is a empowering tool for all the teachers as well as students. Assessments also are very important as we go into this change. When we are having the skill courses, we are having value added courses, so we'll see what are the better assessment methods and how the COPO mapping can be done, which is although a NAC requirement, but more than the paperwork, we our focus in this program will be how the qualitative improvement can be brought about with these changes. Also, the research methodology part becomes very important, where we look into our very other important role apart from the teaching, learning, and assessment. We have the research work also, and more so when in the fourth year now we will be having the undergraduate research projects also. So we will be deliberating upon what are the proper processes which we can guide our students as well, and as ourselves also taking the research, how to get the fundings and all, how to structure that, looking at the plagiarism tools, which is very important requirement. So that's how we have designed. And here I will like to mention all my very respected resource persons. Actually, in this program, we will be having resource persons from both the teams, from UGC-MMTTC as well as from Christo Jayanti College. So in our team, we have, I'm thankful to Professor Ved Prakash sir, who not only started the inaugural, but he will be taking a few more sessions. And then we have another stalwart. So both of these stalwarts, Professor Ved Prakash and Professor A.K. Bakshi sir, they will be guiding us throughout the program. And rather the keynote speaker, which will be followed just immediately, will be delivered by Professor Bakshi sir. And he will be talking today on how empowering of teachers for challenges in higher education in India in the 21st century. So what you see, the first inaugural address by Professor Ved Prakash sir and this keynote will be setting pace of the overall requirement, and then we'll go in minute details of these three broad requirements, which is outcome-based education, the MOOCs, and the research methodology. Especially in terms of MOOCs and online courses, I will like to mention there are standard formats which are like four-quadrant approach. So these have to be followed because they are again the learner-centric model. When we try to give any digital content, it's not that digital content of any structure, how uniform structure can be there. And in terms of what depth aligned to the credit requirement will be important. So all these things we have aligned for you. And in my resource persons, I'm also grateful to Professor Vibhu Prasad Sahu, who will be touching upon the details of the research methodology component from our team. And we will also have Dr. Arun Julka and Dr. Professor Sarita Pasi. And Dr. Arun Julka especially will be focusing on the hands-on tool, and what we have planned. Four of us will be there with you. Myself, Professor Gurminder Singh sir, Dr. Arun Julka, and Professor Bibu. So we'll set up the pace in the beginning week, and then we will be doing the hands-on component. And as mentioned by Professor Vedprakash sir, the subject-specific benchmarking is a tool which you can use for actually making your outcome-based education to the level where the generic learning outcomes can be integrated in a very structured way, and which can also help you in the COPO mapping and making the lesson plan. So the activity which I'm going to give you is around that, and I'm sure working around that, it will be a great learning experience for not only you but for all of us when we interact with you. So wishing everyone a very fruitful learning in this 2 weeks journey that we are that we'll be taking together. And I'll say that it is not just one program. I'm looking forward to a continuous association with all of you, where together we can make a change. Not only just we remain as participants, but we take this baton further. As Sir also mentioned, that we have to also handhold the school education system, the feeder Carter. So, with these words, once again, thanks to Father George for accepting our request for conducting this joint program. So it's such a lovely, impressive infrastructure that you have, and it will be replaced. And another thing I will like to especially mention, Dr. Edward, he will be also leading in the resource person list, and along with many others from his and other nearby institution, is that when special place the Christo Genti holds, because we have been conducting so many workshops across the country. But when we interacted with Dr. Edward, it was like, oh, they have already taken a lead, especially in the outcome based education, conducted almost so many workshops and helping other institutions. So I thought, in terms of conducting this program in this particular theme, this is the best where teams from both the sides can join hand, and I'm sure that it is going to be really a productive uh, course for all of you, and we will be again learning with all of you together. So all the very best, and my special welcome to Professor Bakshi sir, who will be taking the keynote. I think sir, you have joined. Professor Bakshi.
I have joined.
Good morning sir, please welcome.
Good morning.
And special again from the entire team of the organizers, my special mention also goes to Dr. Mary Jacob, the coordinator from KJHRDC, and Dr. Geethu, and all others who are associated with this team. And I think I missed one very, very important thing. We are always blessed to have blessings from our chairman of SGTB Khalsa College governing body, Siddhartha Lochan Singh sir. So I will like to mention gratitude to him for the support. And once again, thanks to Professor Gurminder Singh sir also for joining in the inaugural, and always giving us that support which we require from the administrative point of view as a team. So over to you, Dr. Mary, for further proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that comprehensive overview. Now it's time for our keynote session on empowering teachers for challenges in higher education in India in the 21st century. We are privileged to have with us Professor A.K. Bakshi, founding Vice Chancellor of PDM University, Haryana, former Sri Shankarlal Professor of Chemistry at University of Delhi, and Executive Director of Military Education Commission, Mauritius, whose rich academic and leadership experience will enrich our understanding. So, I welcome you to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much for your very kind words of introduction. Good morning, everybody. Respected Professor Ved Prakash ji, former Chairman, University Grants Commission, Father Dr. Augustine George, Principal Christo Jayanti College, Bengaluru, Professor Gurmahinder Singh, Principal SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi, Professor Vimal Raj, Director of the UGC-MMTTC at SGTB Khalsa College, Dr. Aloysius Edward, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Management, other esteemed dignitaries, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a great privilege to have this opportunity to deliver this keynote address at this multidisciplinary refresher course on three very important themes, that is outcome based education, MOOCs, and research methodology. So, in this keynote address, I shall give you an overview of what are going to be the challenges in higher education in India in the 21st century, especially for the teachers, and what all they need to do to empower themselves. So I'm sure it is going to be very, very useful for each one of you. And before I start my talk, let me share my screen. So this is the title of my talk. In the light of NEP 2020, empowering teachers for challenges in higher education in India in the 21st century. And as you can see, challenges are to be taken as opportunities in disguise. This is going to be a motivational talk based on NEP 2020 with an aim to empower higher education faculty so that they can succeed and thrive in the 21st century. And believe you me, it can prove to be a game changer for each one of you. This talk is based on my conceptualization and experience, and it will prepare you for facing the challenges in your professional life. The thinking behind the talk is give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So it is something like teaching you how to fish. This talk is going to be in two parts. In the first introductory part, I will give a very brief introduction to NEP 2020 and then the traditional roles of teachers in higher education. And in part B, I will talk about the challenges in higher education. Now, what is the spirit behind National Education Policy 2020? See, it is an education policy, and one has to keep it in mind that education is relevant and of quality only when it is able to serve the needs of the changing society. Otherwise, education loses its significance. And in the 21st century, world is changing very, very fast, mainly because of technological advancements. And therefore, this policy proposes various reforms in education that are suited to 21st century needs. And if you look at the document of NEP 2020, it is a visionary document which expresses the aspirations of the nation, and it aims at making India a global knowledge superpower. When I say global knowledge superpower, it means superpower not only in terms of knowledge dissemination, but also in terms of knowledge creation, and that is research. We have to excel in both. And second is global study destination. Our higher educational institutions should become so good that learners from all over the world come to India for their higher studies. So these two are the major aims of NEP 2020, and these will lead India to becoming a vibrant knowledge society. What we mean by vibrant knowledge society? See, it is a dynamic community where knowledge is actively created. Knowledge creation means research. Then that is shared and utilized to drive innovation, economic growth, and social well being. So you can very well imagine that in this policy, there is a focus on research and innovation. Because, without innovation, without research, it's not possible to progress. And then this document also talks about National Research Foundation, NRF, which is the apex body which will be funding the various projects. Now, NEP proposes to achieve all its goals by making school and college education more holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary. These three are very important features. It has to be holistic education, flexible, and multidisciplinary. And you must have read it in the newspapers yesterday that many new draft regulations have been proposed, which will bring a lot of flexibility in higher education, because you can extend its duration or you can accelerate the duration of undergraduate or postgraduate disciplines. And now the admissions are going to be twice a year. So this is a sort of flexibility. And then NEP also proposes academic bank of credits. So these all lead towards making education flexible, multidisciplinary, and holistic. And one more small thing which I want to tell, that 5 pillars of NEP 2020 are access, quality, equity, affordability, and accountability. These are the 5 pillars on which this NEP 2020 is based. In respect of access, the target is to increase gross enrollment ratio to 50% by 2035. Then is quality, then is education to be imparted with equity, and then affordability and accountability. And when I talk about holistic education, it means we need to focus on the overall development of our learners: physical, emotional, mental, and social. And when we say equity, you can see on the right side, education needs to be imparted with equity. You have to be fair. Social justice has to be here and not equality. And you know why we are focusing on empowering the teachers in this talk? Please remember, the quality of an education system can never exceed the quality of its teachers. So if you want to enhance the quality of an education system, you must raise the competence level of your teachers. And therefore, teachers need to be empowered. And then once teachers are empowered, they in turn will empower their students. So ultimately, what we all are doing is to support student learning. And please remember, our greatest natural resource is the minds of our children. India is one of the youngest nations of the world. A demographic dividend we enjoy. We need to reap that. 50% population is less than 25 years. 65% population less than 35 years. So we need to ready our children for future. And to a great extent, responsibility rests with you, the teachers. Therefore, teachers need to be empowered. Please remember, students may be 25% of our population, but then they are 100% of our future. This is something we can't afford to forget. And last point which I want to say here is, a child miseducated is a child lost. We cannot afford to lose even a single child by giving them miseducation, wrong type of education. Because no talent of the country should go waste. That is ultimately what we want. So these were some of the salient features of NEP 2020. I will now very briefly discuss about the traditional roles of a teacher in higher education. And as you can see here, these are the roles of the teacher: to disseminate knowledge, that is teaching; to create knowledge, that is research and guiding research; and then academic administration and management. And if you want to excel in these roles, especially if you want to be an outstanding teacher or a researcher, you need to have a very sound and deep knowledge in your discipline, very good in practical skills, clarity of concepts, and your teaching should reflect the amount of thinking you have done on the subject. This is very important. And if you want to be an out-of-box, outstanding researcher, you need to be an out-of-box thinker. You need to have an analytical mind. You should be innovative and creative. And all these things cannot be acquired overnight. The foundations for all these are during these education times. And then 4 C's. 4 C's means curiosity, creativity, courage, and commitment. These things are very important for a researcher. And one more thing, both for an outstanding teacher or a researcher, you should have excellent communication and presentation skills. Because no one will take the pains to listen to your ideas until and unless your communication is effective and impressive. See, there are many teachers who are full of knowledge, but then they are not very good in communication or presentation. So one has to make efforts in that direction also. Because all the great speakers, please remember, were bad speakers at first. But then they worked hard and then they reached to the top. So, this was just a very basic introduction about the roles and the spirit behind NEP 2020. Now, let's talk about the challenges in the 21st century. See, we are living in an information age where we can get any information just by the click of a button. But then this information or digital age poses many challenges. One is, this is an age of uncertainty with respect to jobs. See, there is a Future of Jobs report published by the World Economic Forum, based on which you can say you are not sure in which jobs your students will be employed. Those jobs may not be even existing at present. So there is a lot of uncertainty with respect to jobs. This is number one. Number two is, this is also an age of mass education, because all institutions are trying to increase gross enrollment ratio. This is going to be an age where more students over the next 30 years will graduate than since the beginning of the recorded history. So more and more students will be coming out of universities and colleges. Traditional jobs are becoming less. So takers would be many. So that will create tough competition. This is another point. And the third is, this is an age of artificial intelligence. This is an age where artificial intelligence will equal the intelligence of the students by the time they finish their formal education. So the question is, if I can have machines with the same intelligence as you, then why do I need you? That's going to be a challenge. As a matter of fact, all those jobs which are going to be repetitive or predictable nature, which require no critical thinking, no critical analysis, no research base, all those jobs are going to be in danger due to artificial intelligence, automation, or robotics. Look at the picture. Humans are working along with robots. And very recently, if you remember, Elon Musk says very soon AI systems will be smarter than the smartest human on the earth, maybe by next year or by 2026. So you can very well understand, because of all that, the challenge before a teacher is going to be what to teach and how to teach, so that our children are successful in a future that looks so uncertain. So this is going to be a big challenge. How should we teach? What should we teach? What all should be included? This is going to be very, very important. Second challenge which world is going to face, especially India also, is the sustainable development goals. This is the second challenge. Because sustainable development is the burning issue in the world at present. And you all know what is sustainable. Sustainable means something which can be maintained for long period of time, keeping in view the future generations. And development is always economic development. So one may ask the question, why there is so much concern for sustainable development? These are the reasons. Population is exploding. Today we have about 8 billion people. By the end of 2050, we will have 9.7 billion people. So this population explosion will lead to fast depletion of resources, including food, minerals, and natural resources. Then water scarcity is going to be another challenge. FAO report says by 2025, we will have 1.8 billion people facing acute water scarcity. And then you all know the problem of environmental degradation, so much pollution, and then climate change, which is already a burning world issue, rising sea level, increase in atmospheric temperature. So, all these are the issues of concern for sustainable development. And why I am talking it under education? Because education only can address to these challenges. For example, look at this. United Nations, when it signed in 2015, the United Nations agenda, it gave 17 sustainable development goals for achieving them by 2030. But United Nations did not give any roadmap, because world is full of diversity and the nature of the problem may vary from region to region. And 193 countries, including India, are signatory to this United Nations agenda. And you can look here, these are the goals, 17 right side. No poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, etc. Now, if you look at these 17 sustainable development goals, they actually represent the real world problems. And they are quite complex. And if we want to solve them, we need knowledge of several different disciplines for their solution. For example, climate change. If you want to solve it, you need knowledge of climatology, political science, economics, green technologies, and sociology. So these are the issues of concern. And that is the reason, why multidisciplinary education we are talking these days. Because multidisciplinary education allows students to gain a deeper understanding of the subject matter through the lens of different disciplines. So, sustainable development is a big issue, there is no doubt. And when this agreement was signed in 2015, our Prime Minister at that time said, much of India's development agenda is mirrored in these goals. Even G20 meeting, which we had last year, the agenda of G20 is also aligned with this United Nations agenda for sustainable development. So you can see that this is really an issue of great importance. And one more thing you must remember, that one of the goals out of these 17 goals is quality education, where it talks about ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. So these terms come in this Sustainable Development Goal 4, inclusive, equitable, quality education and promoting lifelong learning. And if you look at NEP 2020, the various provisions of NEP 2020 are actually based on this Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is quality education. As a matter of fact, most of our policies are aligned with these goals. That is something you have to keep it in mind. And you now know that from next year, in NIRF ranking, sustainability is going to be an additional criteria. And this is from the next year, it is going to be. All the colleges or the university campuses must become green campuses. That means sustainable units in themselves. That is ultimately the target of that. So this is the second challenge which I told. Now I come to the third challenge, and that is the 21st century learning needs. See, it is now believed that in the 21st century, if you want to excel, you need to have a rigorous academic content. You should be very good in the subject. And then 21st century skills, which are a set of abilities which each one of us must have. These two things taken together lead to deeper learning. And these are the 21st century skills. You can see here, these come under three categories. Learning skills, that is critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication, 4 C's. Then literacy skills, information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, IMT. And the third is life skills, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skill, FLIPS. So taken together, these are 12 skills. And they are very essential for elevating your job performance. They are helpful to everyone. Why these skills have become so important? Because you can't have machine with these skills. You can't have a machine which is critically thinking or which is creative or which is having leadership quality. And then AI, artificial intelligence, cannot replicate them. Therefore, these are the skills which are going to play a very important role in education in the 21st century. So much so that the quality education in the 21st century need to focus on these three things: knowledge, disciplinary knowledge, interdisciplinary knowledge, and practical knowledge. And then is 21st century skills, which I just mentioned, and then domain specific skills, some skills specific to your discipline. And the third thing is your personality, your values, your attitudes, your traits. And these three things taken together will determine your competence in any profession. This is a very important slide. Competence in any profession is determined by these three things: knowledge, skills, and personality. That is why, all universities and colleges are now working hard on introducing skill enhancement courses to strengthen second point, and then value added courses to strengthen third point, and all that. See, when we were students, focus was mainly on knowledge, but not now. Now, skills are becoming very important. Personality, values are given more importance. Therefore, acquiring competence should be the goal of quality education. That is the ultimate conclusion. And this slide is therefore a summary of what I said. Quality education leads to knowledge, skills, and personality. And these three will determine your competence. And please remember, even if one of these three is weak, it will affect your competence. Even as a teacher, you may be very good in knowledge in your subject, but if you lack skills, you don't know how to teach, teaching ability, right? All that is missing, or your personality, it will affect your competence. So, in the 21st century, we need to focus on all the three things. That is the message which I want to give. The fourth challenge, which I think is for teachers, is to see to it that in India there is a need of creative and innovative minds. See, I personally feel there is a crisis of innovation and creativity in Indian education system. Look at the fact, no Indian scientist working in India has been able to get Nobel Prize after 1930. C.V. Raman was the last person who got it in 1930 for the discovery of Raman effect. After that, no Indian scientist has got it. Nobody has ever got it in chemistry. These people did get Nobel Prize, but then they were non-resident Indians. Even Amartya Sen, although he is an Indian, but for years he has been staying abroad. Even Abhijit Banerjee is an American citizen. So you will have to think that Nobel Prize is actually not a lifetime achievement award. If you want to excel in research at that level, one needs, amongst others, enormous amount of creativity and open-mindedness. These three things are very important. First is enormous amount of creativity and open-mindedness. Second is willingness to collaborate. We sometimes teach our students to look at other as a competitor. No, we must be willing to collaborate. And then perseverance and resilience. Pursue your goals. Even if there are setbacks, you bounce back. So these three are very important qualities which you need if you want to excel in research. I remember a Nobel Prize winner in chemistry. I think a couple of years back, he got it when he was 97-year old. So you can very well imagine that these things are very important. And this is one reason why we are not good in world rankings, because our research programs are not good. One of the main reasons for poor world ranking is poor quality of our research program. And why there is a poor quality of research program? Because, we have not been taught to think out of the box. And then best students sometimes don't come to research. There was a report based on which it was mentioned that, best of the science students are going to civil services in India. They are going for IAS and other services. So why do we lack in quality research? Have you ever thought why we are not able to do world-class research? There may be other reasons, but fundamentally, what's the problem? It has to do with our education system. Something is fundamentally wrong in our education system. And what is wrong in our education system? Just watch this video.
For decades, people have been finding hundreds of flaws in the education system. No conceptual understanding, no creativity, children are stressed, and the list goes on. All these are symptoms. But what is the root cause to all this? What is the fundamental flaw in the education system? Let us play a rapid fire game. You have 1 second to answer every question.
Sorry. Just it got.
For decades, think Apple first. 98% of people are most likely to think so. Because that was what we were told in our kindergarten. Imagine that this was done differently. Say we had asked you for all the words starting with A, ant, ace, April, apt. Different answers would have popped out of everyone's head. Do you see where the problem is? Before children start going to school, every child is unique. Every child thinks different. But the education system makes every child think the same. This is the fundamental flaw in the education system. Why did this start? During the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, the education system was designed to make children ready to work in factories. The factories did not require people to think, but to only work like robots. So, the education system stripped children of their freedom to think and destroyed their true potential. The same education system continues even today. Only the industries have changed. A study by NASA shows that 98% of children think different before they start going to school. As they go through this education system, at 25 years of age, only 2% think different, and 98% think the same. So how does the education system make every child the same? Let's go back to the apple example. Kindergarten lessons told us that A is for apple. We asked you for words that start with A. Our education system gave us the answers. We asked you a question. Answers make you the same. Questions make you different. Right from kindergarten, the education system keeps giving answers. Instead of asking children how plants make food, the science teacher gives you the definition of photosynthesis. Instead of asking them to describe the sun, the teacher tells them that the sun is a ball of fire at the center of the solar system. Through their years in school, children lose the capability to think on their own. Whether it is their choice of career or their relationship or any situation in life, they become.
So you can see how our education system stripped the children of their ability to think on their own. Because we give ready-made answers to various questions and then directly or indirectly ask the same thing in examination. That is not education. We will have to think over it. And please remember that our education system in that way is outdated. It does not encourage thinking, innovation, and creativity amongst the students. And then without creativity, there can be no progress. And we would be forever repeating the same pattern. So this is an issue of concern. That is why I said there is a dearth of creative and innovative minds in India. The next challenge is we need to enhance quality of higher education imparted in India. This is another challenge. See, in any education process, three things are very important. One is what do we teach? That is curriculum. Then how do we teach? That is pedagogy. And third is how do we assess our students? Assessment. If you look at countries, India's education system We have 21st century students, but sometimes we are teaching them 19th century content. Our methods of teaching, our assessment methods, our courses, architecture, all outdated. We have not changed much with the time. And as I said in the beginning, education need to address to the changing needs of the society. Now, let's look at curriculum, for example. Curriculum means the total learning experience in any program. What do we teach? It is something like the menu which we offer to our students. And the biggest challenge to curriculum is coming from the growth of knowledge. The knowledge in all disciplines is growing very fast. So fast that the doubling time of the growth of knowledge has shrunk considerably. See, there was a time when human knowledge was doubling in 150 years. Now, human knowledge is doubling just in 73 days. So, what does it mean? That means your curriculum becomes outdated as soon as it is created. So, this is something we have to keep it in mind. And please remember, what we know in any discipline is merely a drop, and what we do not know is an ocean. And then, that is the reason why NEP 2020 also says we should have light syllabi so that students are given more time for thinking. We should include only core essentials. But it should be modern because knowledge is growing very, very fast. We cannot have outdated curriculum because outdated syllabi will increase the gap between what is learned and what should be learned. And that is the reason why it affects the quality of research. One of the main reasons why we are still the followers and not become leaders in many fields is this outdated syllabi. There is also a lack of coordination between, school education and higher education. This Professor C.N.R. Rao, he lives in Bangalore. Bharat Ratna scientist, he once says 90% of the universities in India have outdated curriculum. So in the present time, we need to have skill-based and industry-led curriculum. Because the world is shifting towards skill-based economy. More focus is on practical knowledge and hands-on experience. And then teachers also need to be equipped because teachers sometimes teach skills the same way as they teach knowledge. That is wrong. Knowledge is knowing, that is theoretical, whereas skill is practical, doing. We need different approaches for teaching them. And skills are becoming very, very important these days, as I mentioned earlier also. That is why it is said, future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. Then comes pedagogy. Pedagogy is art and science of teaching. How do we teach? Still, in many universities and colleges, we follow the talk and chalk method, which is a teacher-centric approach, mainly a monologue. You cannot explain many concepts on the board. It presumes that all students learn in identical fashion. You can't solve many problems in the class due to the paucity of time because you have to finish syllabi. And then, this, our method of teaching generally in India still focuses on examination, rote learning, and scoring high marks. See, this is today's reality in every discipline. Nobody wants to learn concepts. Everybody wants to score 90 plus marks. See, irony of our country is we focus on well-filled mind. But what we actually need is well-formed mind. the mind which is formed out of thinking, innovation, and creativity. Era of rote learning is over. We have to keep this in mind. And real education is actually that, which transforms the learner. That is not happening in our country. It must transform, just like a seed gets transformed to plant and plant gets transformed to tree. That is why, it is said now that learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of the activity of the learners. Students will learn more if they are involved in activities. We need to engage the learners. And that is the thinking behind learner-centric education. What is the thinking? That the students will learn best when they are engrossed in the topic, motivated to seek out new knowledge and skills because they need them to solve the problems at hand. And this is possible in this information age due to ICT. So that is the thinking behind the learner-centric education, which everybody talks these days. Experiential learning is also a learner-centric education because you do it and then you will understand it much better. And even fostering experiential learning and critical thinking among students is an important objective of NEP 2020. And this learner-centric education is not any particular method of teaching. All these methods you can see, they are coming under the category of learner-centric education. Problem-based learning, project-based learning, case studies, inquiry-based learning, flipped classroom model, collaborative learning, TPS strategy, think, pair, share strategy, community outreach, travel, internship, UG research program, all come under learner-centric education. Our teachers need to be trained in this learner-centric education. And that is also the spirit of the outcome-based education. Outcomes will come only when you focus on the learners, both in terms of knowledge, skills, and values. And once you follow learner-centric approach, roles of the learners will also change. They will no longer remain passive learners as they are in the traditional teaching method. They will now become active, highly independent, and creative thinkers. And if you look at some of the leading universities of the world, Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, these universities focus more on case studies, experiential learning, project-based, problem-based learning, collaborative learning, and very little focus on lecture-based learning. In our country, we still focus a lot on lecture-based learning. I think we will have to change that mindset. Please remember, if we teach today's student as we taught yesterday's, we are going to rob them of tomorrow. Teachers will have to change with the changing times. This was my article in Times of India's Education Times, the creativity crisis in the Indian education system. This is about the flipped classroom model, which we will discuss in subsequent topics. And then comes assessment. Assessment plays a very important role. And here also NEP 2020 says we need to transform the culture of assessment. Because assessment drives learning. The way you will assess your students will start learning in that way. So it can be a good way to enhance the quality of education in the country. If you look at our current examination system, it is mainly rote-based. It's mainly about textbook content and the testing facts definition given there. If anything comes outside the textbook, protests start, people say, oh, it is out of syllabus. That is what our examination system is. Therefore, assessment process also needs to be made more scientific. to encourage multiple skills of the student, such as analytical thinking, critical thinking, conceptual clarity, etc. See how we can make it. You all know that cognitive learning is a 6-level hierarchy. This is as per revised Bloom's taxonomy. Mental level knowledge, when we acquire, it goes through 6 levels. It starts from the bottom, remembering, then comes understanding, then application, and then it goes up to creativity. So cognitive learning takes you from lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. That means these 6 are the learning outcomes. And therefore, when these are the 6 learning outcomes of cognitive learning, then assessment should also focus on all the 6 learning outcomes. In our country, most of the time assessment is based on remembering, understanding, or application component. No, we will have to change. And in all this, teachers can play a very important role. This is a challenge for the teachers also, that they need to set such questions which test higher order thinking skills. Your competence, your creativity matters a lot. See, the 6th challenge which I feel is for the teachers in higher education is you all need to embrace technology and become tech savvy. This is very important. Because it is difficult to imagine education without technology in the 21st century. You have to remember that. Even NEP 2020 says that the relationship between technology and education at all levels is bidirectional. What does it mean? Technology helps in enhancing the quality of education, and enhanced quality of education then further helps you in improving the technology. So they feed on each other. And look at this slide. This slide shows how technology has changed the way education is imparted in the country. This is a very important slide. How ICT has changed the way education is imparted. Look at this. Teaching learning has changed. E-learning and MOOCs are now becoming very popular. Experimental work in many disciplines is done through using virtual labs. Revision of syllabi can be very fast due to email, discussion forum, or video conferencing apps. For research, so many ICT tools have come. They have totally changed the way research is conducted now. Assessment is now online. National Testing Agency has been created, and all major exams in the country are online. Then professional development of the teachers is in online mode. ARPID, Annual Refresher Program in Teaching, all online. And then many ICT empowered pedagogies have come. So you can very well see how technology has changed the way education is imparted. Therefore, you all will have to become tech savvy. Being tech savvy is no longer optional for you. Please remember it. It is essential for providing high quality education, meeting the needs of modern students, and preparing them for a technology driven world. But this also is important that technology should be used strategically to benefit the students. Excessive use of technology by the students has, impacted their creativity. They have stopped thinking. For every small thing, they are dependent on technology. That needs to be avoided. Writing with hands has also almost disappeared. They don't do much. And then, technology in education is a journey. New and new technologies are coming. Artificial intelligence, for example, is now redefining the world in the education in the world. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the way we teach, learn, and research. So, what I mean to say is that you will all have to embrace technology and become tech savvy. There is no way out. Please remember, technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be highly transformational. You be tech savvy and you be a great teacher, then that combination can do wonders. This was my report in Times of India's that technology won't replace teachers. And the last challenge which I am going to talk is the new roles of teachers in higher education. Because the roles of the teachers are going to change significantly in the 21st century. And therefore, you have to be prepared for that. You will have to become tech savvy teachers in ICT skills, 21st century skills, etc. If your students are enrolled in MOOCs, and if they have some queries, who will answer? You only. So you must learn how to manage virtual classroom and discussion forum. You also need to engage students by learner-centric pedagogies. All that you should learn. So your role is going to be more like a coach or a mentor rather than the knowledge provider. See, there was a time when teacher was considered to be the source of knowledge, but not now. They are now the facilitators of learning. Then teachers will have to be proficient in the development of e-content and MOOCs. These e-content and MOOCs have totally revolutionized learning in the country. So you should, but who has developed the MOOCs? We only, teachers only have developed it. So you should be very good in the subject as well as you should have excellent writing skill. Then that combination can help you. So these are some of the new roles of the teachers. So the message is your role is now changing from knowledge giver to facilitators of learning. Because otherwise there are multiple sources of knowledge which are available now because of online tools. And therefore, a change of mindset is required in the teachers. Don't think that what I know is enough. No, I must learn more. Birds born in a cage think flying is an illness. Change your mindset. And now, having delivered those challenges, one important point which I want to cover, and that it may also be taken as a challenge, is I want to share with you some personality development tips for enhancing your competence. This is very important. See, if you remember, I showed you this slide earlier. We have talked about knowledge, we have talked about skills, but here I would like to talk about personality. Personality is very, very important in order to enhance your competence. By personality, I mean a set of traits and behaviors that characterize an individual. Personality doesn't mean your looks only. And why personality is important? Because look at this. This is a startling figure. 87% of all people fail not because of capability, but because of personality. And the worst part is they don't know that their personality is coming in the way of their performance. So we need to focus on personality. Personality influences almost every aspect of human life. So I'm going to give you some personality development tips in the form of life lessons to enhance your competence. They can prove to be a game changer for you. You will be knowing all of them, but still a reinforcement is needed. See, look at this picture. The grand old lady telling little girl, life looks like an eternity, but actually it is just a short trip. So life is just a short trip. We should all learn the art of living. It's very unfortunate that most of the people only exist. Living has become almost rare. And by the art of living, I mean capability to draw pleasure from life and to succeed in the greatest test called life. Life itself is a great test. You have to be successful in that. See, this was the report which came recently in Indian Express. India ranks 126th out of 143 nations in World Happiness Index. Indians are not happy, always stressed, thinking, more worried about future than about present. Because they have not been trained to the art of living. And please remember, you only live once. But if you do it right, one is more than enough. And one more thing, you will never find a happy life. You will have to make it. This is the mindset you should have. There is no perfect life, but you can fill it with perfect moments. So, in the light of these, what are the tips? These are the tips. Number one, you should be proactive in life. This is what I also learned from my vast experience. See, everyone chooses how to approach life. So, if you are proactive, you will focus on preparing. And if you are reactive, you will end up focusing on repairing. So, proactive people are able to take initiative, make choices, and control outcomes. So, be proactive in life. Proactive people don't wait for the ship to come in, they swim out to it. Second is come out of your comfort zone. Many young people are very bright, but then very soon they start living in a comfort zone. Oh, I am getting good salary, my husband or wife getting good salary, children are well set, so why should I work? That sort of mindset is there. Please remember, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. It's only after you have stepped out of your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Therefore, come out of your comfort zone and then work hard very sensibly. When I say sensibly, it means choose the right direction. Direction is more important than speed. Of course, you are free to choose any direction, but then you will not be free from the consequences of your choice. Choose right direction, manage your career very well, pursue it in the right direction. And then, once you are in the right direction, then please remember life is a process. No one rises suddenly in the world, not even the sun. Be persistent and have a never give up attitude. Another thing, self belief is very important in life. Self belief means, look at this, a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch but in her own wings. So believe in yourself. It is the best accessory you can have in life, self confidence. Because millions of people can believe in you, but none of it will matter if you don't believe in yourself. And then self discipline is another trait you should try to acquire. Self discipline means mastery over your thoughts. If you can control what you think, you can always control what you do. This can do wonders for you if you develop this self discipline. Because there is nothing in this world that can trouble you more than your own thoughts. We are always thinking something. Nothing more disturbing or troubling. Because cages are not made of iron, they are made of thoughts. An average person thinks about 70,000 thoughts a day. If you can learn self control, you can master anything. Start practicing it. It will do wonders for you. Many people have done that. And then this will also make you mentally tough. Sometimes you need to be mentally tough, especially in the face of adversity. So it will also prepare you for that. Then be positive and honest in life. Nobody bothers. You don't need to announce to the world that you are positive. Nobody bothers. But it's for your own consumption. Have always positive thinking. Look at this 11 marks out of 10, height of positivity. Positive thinkers will have a solution for every problem. Negative thinkers will have a problem for every solution. And we meet both types of people in our day-to-day life. Be positive and always strive for excellence. Excellence should be, to be good is no longer enough in the modern world. You have to excel. You have to strive for excellence. Look at the quote. A penguin can never be a giraffe, so try to be the best penguin you can be. And then overcome fear of failure. This is a very common problem in many young people. Fear of failure. Then they don't make efforts. See, Bill Gates once said, if you are afraid of failure, you don't deserve to be successful. And these failures can be the pillars of success, depending on how you take them. And that's why it is said, your attitude towards failure determines your altitude after failure. It's all a question of mindset, attitude, self-control. Everything is focused around that. See, brain is a big organ, but inside the brain, mind is something like a software which you can control. And then your life will be totally controlled. And then stop common problem amongst young people. Because you suffer more in imagination than in reality. And believe you me, one day you will look back and realize that you worried too much about things that don't really matter. But by that time would have gone and you can't undo that. So, best thing is this, you worry only about the things which are in your control. And what is in your control? Your attitude, your effort, your focus. Don't worry about the things which are out of your control. What others will think, what will be the opinion of others, what will happen in future. That's why. See, this simple demarcation can do wonders for you. Just worry about your attitude, your effort, your focus. And then take risks in life. That also because sometimes you have to be courageous. You have to take risks. Sometimes you need to lose small battles in order to win the war. And then create a sense of urgency in your life. This is my tip to all of you. For example, if you give yourself 30 days to clean your home, it will take you 30 days. But if you give yourself 3 hours, it will take you 3 hours. The same applies to your goals, your ambition, and your potential. So the message is, you can create a new life for yourself by creating more urgency in your current life. Be a man in a hurry, set deadlines. Because otherwise, work always expands according to the time available. You will never achieve your goal. And then control anger. This is the normal emotion. Everybody gets angry. But my only recommendation is, whenever you get angry, think of this slide. The fire of anger burns you first. And then never say mean words out of anger. Your anger will pass, but your mean words can scare a person for life. Use kind words or be silent. Remaining silent in an angry mood requires tremendous strength, but this will pay you. And psychology says, please note this, psychology says beneath anger there is always some fear. Whenever you are angry, there is some fear in your mind. That is why you are angry. And then time management, that I don't need to emphasize again. Time management is life management. And then, invest your time, don't spend it. Every day is once in a lifetime. See, there is a very famous quote from Amitabh. कल खो दिया आज के लिए, आज खो दिया कल के लिए, कभी जी ना सके हम आज आज के लिए, बीत रही है जिंदगी कल आज और कल के लिए. That's how the life passes. So my message to you would be live in the moment. This is very important. The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. Life becomes more meaningful when you simply realize the fact that you will never get the same moment twice. So make the best, live in the present. This type of mindset you should have. There is a very famous Hindi quote, मैं कल को तलाशता रहा दिन भर और शाम होते होते मेरा आज भी चला गया. So ladies and gentlemen, also never become arrogant in life. Sometimes a small success goes into a person's head and the person becomes arrogant. No, arrogance is the surest path to failure. कभी किसी चीज का घमंड आ जाए तो शमशान का एक चक्कर लगा आना, तुमसे बेहतरीन लोग वहां राख बने पड़े. Just remember that. Remember, you are dust, and to dust you shall return. So, why to get arrogant? Keep this reality of life always in mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now coming to the last angle, last part. Challenge yourself. So, you will agree that in my this entire talk, at the end of the day, your biggest competition is with you only. You have to win over yourself. You have to become the master of your mind. You don't have to be the puppet of your mind. Be your own king. And you are a king if you know how to rule yourself. Start ruling yourself, your life will change. You don't have the problem, you are the problem. Your attitude is the problem. Your mindset is the problem. I'm talking it in Hindi. स्वर्ग भी तू है, नर्क भी तू है, इन दोनों का फर्क भी तू. That's why it is said, जिंदगी छोटी नहीं होती, लोग जीना ही देरी से शुरू करते हैं. जब तक रास्ते समझ में आते हैं तब तक लौटने का वक्त. So the ultimate conclusion is it's never too late to be what you might have been. Challenges keep us fresh. There is a famous quote, a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. Similarly, humans are not designed to be happy in status quo. Continue to be dissatisfied so that you can get better and better, because challenges are what will keep you fresh. This is something you have to keep it in mind. Don't take every challenge as a problem, take every problem as a challenge. And there is a very famous, these challenges are the doorways to excellence, as I said in the beginning. There is a very famous Chinese proverb, when the winds of change blow, some people build walls while others build windmills. It's up to you how you make use of the opportunities. So make the best use of time. All these things are lessons for you. Academic challenges I have also told in the context of higher education and all that. So these are some of the habits of the most successful people in the world. Please remember them. Strategic planning and deliverance, laser sharp focus and determination, risk-taking ability, courage, hard work and consistency, never give up attitude, and then health and fitness. Take care of your health also, because at one stage you may have everything, but health may let you down. Don't let that happen. So one day you will be just a memory for some people. Do your best to be a good one. That's basically the message. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I just given you all the challenges, but I think including the challenges of your personality, all the three things are important. Please remember, knowledge, skills, and personality, they will determine your competence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that motivating session, highlighting the qualities of this generation teacher. Your profound insights into the evolving role of teachers in the modern era, your emphasis on adaptability, innovation, and fostering holistic development have left us deeply enriched and motivated. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As we conclude the inaugural session of this refresher course, let us reflect on the importance of continuous learning and development in the field of education. We look forward to organize such fruitful session in day ahead. I would like to invite Dr. Geetu Anna Matthew to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon,
That if
honorable
you have any
dignitaries
questions,
and dear
thanks,
participants.
sir, for the wonderful presentation. Any questions from the participants?
Dear participants, any queries are
And
there?
we will like that you are all interacting with the resource persons as well. How will we make
can
our
write
students
even
ask questions in our class if we are not asking questions?
And you can write it even in the chat
In the
box.
chat box, yeah.
I don't know whether they are able to write it in the chat box or not.
I have made the provision. You can unmute, all of you. You can unmute and then please.
Any comment, any suggestion, any feedback, anything?
Sir, you were telling about the assessment, no, sir? Assessment, sir, can you able to hear me?
Yes, I am
Yeah.
hearing. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. I'm Geetu from Department of Management.
Yes, Gitu, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So you were discussing about the assessment in this current era, right? So what are the different methodologies which we can use in that? That means a different way of assessment. Mostly we'll go with that traditional way of assessment most of the times.
See, maybe in one of the sessions, we will talk about what are the assessment and examination reforms in higher education. And there, generally the focus is going to be in respect of, assessment is following revised Bloom's taxonomy. Because as I said in the talk, revised Bloom's taxonomy takes us from lower order thinking skill to higher order thinking skills. And lower order thinking skills are remembering, understanding, application, etc. That is why, most of our questions in examination are based on remembering or recalling or understanding our application. Beyond that, we are not going. So when I say reforms, we should go up to the highest order of thinking skill, that is creativity, evaluation, analysis also. So in our that lecture, we are going to talk about how you can set questions corresponding to higher order thinking skill. Although it is a challenge. And another aspect in our assessment is most of our exams are now MCQ based, multiple choice questions. It becomes difficult to set multiple choice questions of higher order thinking skill. But still, if you have a full mastery over the topic, you have done a lot of thinking on the subject, it is possible to set such questions also. And maybe we will talk in that session. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Gitu. Any other question? Any other comment, suggestion? I hope the talk was clear to you.
Yes, sir, it was very clear.
So maybe because I think the participants are still working on their thoughts, maybe a small question from my side. I'm Dr. Mary Jacob, the coordinator for KJHRTC here in Christu Jayanti College. Now, practically, if you look at the teachers in higher education and basically after Corona period, we find you were talking actually the life lessons as well. So how far we will be able to inculcate all that into our life, balancing the professional life. You're talking of healthier lifestyle, because today I really feel that the teachers, apart from the time they spend in the educational institutions, they have lots of preparations to really be competent what they have to carry out, right? So how are they actually going to, or is there any tips that you can provide us that we can balance all of this and really do well, both in our
I
professional,
think it's a
personal
very,
life?
very, very good question which you have asked, Mary. My feeling is first thing is you have to be aware that these three things will determine your competence. First of all, you have to be aware of that your knowledge, your skills, and your personality. So once that awareness is there, then you should make efforts to improve on each front. See, when we were students, honestly, nobody told us these things. We were always focusing more on knowledge and knowledge and knowledge, reading and reading like that. The result was a lopsided development in our personality. Nobody paid much attention to skills also. These days, now we are talking about 21st century skills like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration. Nobody did but. Focus was on rote learning, pass in the examination, score high marks, be the topper, that's all. But so once you are now aware, you will then make efforts in all. Even as a teacher, you will have to ensure that when you teach any subject in the class, you also try to focus on all these skills also. Critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, flexibility, leadership, what's information literacy, media literacy. These are the 12 skills which I told. We have to be focusing on that also. And the third thing was personality. So again, you cannot improve your personality overnight. You will have to make efforts in that direction. What I gave you in 10 minutes was just the tips which I learned in my life about angry, about worrying, about the most of the people are only existing, or positive attitude, or challenges. All those things you will have to slowly practice. Self control, for example. What I said, self control is the key to everything, because if you can control your thoughts, you can control what you do. So these are the things you have. My only ultimate thing would be that first be aware of what you need to do and then start making efforts step by step. You will be able to achieve. That's all what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. My name is Divya.
Please, yes.
Sir, I have a query on now we are completely not moved on to the new era of education. We are in the transition phase. So my doubt is how exactly we can handle the expectations of our students, though we are handling the 21st century kids. Any suggestions on handling that? And kind of personal also, I have my own son going to be, he is also into adolescence and teenager, going to be in the higher education. How I can guide him in a better way, sir?
See, if you see my talk, I told you in the beginning the challenges coming from the growth of knowledge. This is a big problem in our education system. We are still teaching outdated things. I am from Delhi University. I wrote NCRT chemistry books for the country. Still, I feel the topics which we include in the books are outdated. We have gone much ahead. The world has gone much ahead, but we are teaching those outdated things. So we sometimes, we don't change because we will also have to learn as teachers. That is also a problem sometimes. Therefore, we should have very modern syllabi, try to introduce what is new, what is happening on these fronts. We have to be aware of that. That is one aspect to improve and bring our students to that level. So, revise our syllabi more frequently. This is what NEP 2020 also says. Then they say that you focus more on core essential fundamentals concept, because these days you can get any information just by the click of a button. Tell me what we are going to teach in our class which is not available on YouTube or any other online platform. Everything is available. Try to focus more on fundamental things, concepts, so that they should have that clarity, and then they would be in a position to build their own self-learn. Then we also need to focus in our young children about information literacy. Information literacy basically is one of the skill which has become very important, which means that whenever you need any information, you should know what are the various sources from where you can get information. So information literate person will know how to search information, how to find information, and how to use information. So we should make our children information literate. We should also make them technology literate. So many ICT tools are there. They should know how to use them. See, these days it is said that the most important skill in the 21st century is going to be the skill of learning new skill. So all of us should have the skill of learning new skill, the way the skills are coming. So this should also be inculcated in our young children. So I think, and then, skills, I have told that rote learning, era of rote learning is over. Nobody bothers about that. We still, focus on 90 plus mark. Nobody bothers. Now, many leading companies of the world are recruiting people without looking at the degrees. They will have some skill aptitude based test, and based on that, they will recruit people because they think we want a person, ready-made person fit for doing. See, degree means only that you have studied some subjects. That is what it means. They don't want that you have studied that subject or not. What you can do today, what are your skills? That matters to them. And that is why the job landscape is also changing in the world.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Divya. You are in which discipline?
Sir, I am into computer science.
Computer science. So you must be knowing better than me. Now quantum computers are coming. You know that internet is becoming so fast. Things are changing so much. So you must be knowing all these things more than us.
Participants, any more questions? Ma'am, we'll proceed with the formal vote of thanks, ma'am. Vimal, ma'am.
Yeah, please. I think we can proceed.
Sure. Good afternoon, honorable dignitaries and dear participants. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for this inaugural session of the multidisciplinary refresher course on outcome-based education, MOOCs and research methodology. On behalf of UGC Malaviya Mission Teacher Training Center, Sri Guru Tech Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi, and Kristu Jayanti Human Resource Development Center, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Vimal Rao, Director, UGC-MMTTC, for her steadfast support and commitment to enhancing academic excellence. Ma'am, your leadership continues to elevate the quality of education and inspire countless educators. Thank you, ma'am. A special thank you to Professor A.K. Bakshi, Founding Vice Chancellor of PDM University, Haryana, former Vice Chancellor of UPRTO, Allahabad, and former Executive Director of Tech Mauritius, for honoring us with your presence and sharing your vast experience in academia and governance. Sir, thank you for being the speaker for the first keynote session and enlightening us with the skills required for 21st century teaching, enhancing quality education. Our sincere thanks to Professor Guru Mohinder Singh, Principal of SGTB Khalsa College, for your unwavering support and encouragement in organizing this course. Sir, your leadership fosters an environment of collaboration and innovation. We are deeply appreciative of Father Dr. Augustine George, Principal of Kristu Jayanti College, for your commitment to holistic education and institutional excellence. Father, your presence is a source of inspiration for all of us. Heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Aloysius Edward, Dean Faculty of Commerce and Management, and Director IQAC for all the support to plan and execute the refresher course, which benefits the entire academic fraternity. I'd like to extend our gratitude to the distinguished resource persons who will enrich this course with their expertise. Your guidance is invaluable to achieving the objective of this program. My heartfelt thanks to all the participants for your enthusiastic involvement. Your commitment to continuous learning is what makes initiations like this truly impactful. Let us carry the insights gained today into the days ahead and collaborate to redefine teaching, learning, and research in higher education. Thank you all for making this event a grand success. Wishing everyone a fruitful and inspiring learning experience. I remain. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank
I
you
think
all.
after lunch you'll be all joining for the two more sessions. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are going to give the guidelines regarding that, ma'am.
Yeah. In the venue, huh?
Yes,
Right.
yes, ma'am. In the venue. In the venue.
Thank you. Thank you, Bakshi sir, once again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now take and join back for the offline session at 1:45 in A3 auditorium, admin block. Thank you all. Have a fruitful day. Thank you.
Dear teachers, in the afternoon, we will get for our offline sessions in auditorium A3 in admin block. It is not in conference room P2. Please note the change. It is in auditorium A3 in the admin block. So please assemble by 1:40 so that 1:45 we can start the afternoon offline sessions. Thank you.